Gentlemen, the watch on a billionaire's wrist isn't just telling time, it's telling a story of power, taste, and legacy. But here's what might surprise you. The timepieces these titans actually wear aren't always what you'd expect. Today, I'm breaking down what the world's most successful men actually wear on their wrists. Not what the magazines claim, not what their PR teams push, but the watches these billionaires choose when they're making deals, taking meetings, and building empires. And I'll tell you exactly what these choices reveal about power, status, and the psychology of success. Part 1. The Tech Titans. When you think of tech billionaires, you might imagine digital smartwatches or futuristic gadgets. The reality couldn't be more different. Take Bill Gates. Despite having the resources to wear literally any watch on the planet, for years he wore a $70 Casio Duro. Not because he couldn't afford better, but because it represented exactly what made him successful. Practical efficiency without unnecessary flash. The Casio Duro is quartz-powered, has a 200-meter water resistance rating, and is popular for being a no-frills, reliable watch. Gates's choice of such an affordable, functional timepiece has often been cited as an example of his practicality and down-to-earth approach. This made it somewhat iconic among watch enthusiasts as the Bill Gates watch. But here's where it gets interesting. In recent years, Gates has been spotted wearing an Omega Seamaster. Why the upgrade? Because at a certain point in wealth, time itself becomes your most valuable asset. Compare that to Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. He is frequently seen wearing a Ulysse Nardin dual time. Compared to the ultra-luxury brands like Patek Philippe or Richard Mille that many billionaires wear, it's considered understated, yet still refined, functional, and valued in the $6,000 to $12,000 range, depending on condition and configuration. Bezos has also been seen in other watches, including an Omega Speedmaster, but the Ulysse Nardin dual time has become one of his signature, most photographed choices. This isn't a watch that screams for attention, it's understated, but to those who know watches, it signals something profound: the ability to track multiple time zones simultaneously. For a man running a global empire, this isn't just a style choice, it's a tool that reflects his worldwide perspective. And then there's Elon Musk, perhaps the most unpredictable of the tech titans. Despite his flamboyant public persona, his watch choices are surprisingly conservative. He's been spotted wearing an Omega Speedmaster, the same model worn by Apollo astronauts. For a man obsessed with space travel, this isn't just a timepiece, it's a connection to the explorers who came before him. What's the lesson here? The tech billionaires who built their fortunes on innovation don't view watches as status symbols, they view them as instruments of purpose. They wear watches that serve a function, that connect to their personal missions, not watches that simply display wealth. Part 2. The Finance Moguls. Now let's shift to Wall Street, where watches have traditionally been the ultimate status symbol. Warren Buffett, the legendary investor worth well over $100 billion, is famous for wearing the Rolex Day-Date, often called the President watch. It's a solid gold timepiece that has long been associated with success, leadership, and influence. The Rolex Day-Date debuted in 1956 as the first wristwatch to display both the date and the day spelled out in full. Buffett has worn his Day-Date for decades, and it has become part of his public image, a subtle but powerful signal of timeless wealth and prestige. Unlike Bill Gates's affordable Casio or Jeff Bezos's understated Ulysse Nardin, Buffett's choice is more traditional, a luxury watch that communicates stability, permanence, and authority, very much in line with his investment philosophy. Ray Dalio, the billionaire founder of the world's largest hedge fund, doesn't flaunt a luxury timepiece. Instead, he's often spotted wearing an Apple Watch. For a man who built the world's largest hedge fund, his choice reflects practicality over prestige, data over decoration. It's a subtle reminder that success isn't always measured in gold or diamonds. Sometimes it's measured in how you use your time. But perhaps the most telling example is Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan Chase. He sends a powerful message without ever strapping on a watch. While many Wall Street titans showcase their status with Rolexes and Patek Philippes, Dimon chooses simplicity. No watch, no jewelry, no need for signals. His bare wrist is its own statement. Confidence doesn't require validation, and true power never needs to check the time. The finance titans teach us something profound. A truly powerful watch doesn't need to shout. The initial impression, it whispers. It's about the lasting one. Part 3. The Old Money. Now, let's talk about the billionaires who inherited their wealth. The old money. Their watch choices reveal a completely different relationship with time and status. Bernard Arnault, the man who built LVMH into the world's largest luxury empire, has been spotted wearing one of the rarest Patek Philippe watches ever made, a unique Nautilus perpetual calendar reference. 5740 with a Tiffany blue dial. This one-of-a-kind piece blends the timeless Nautilus design with a perpetual calendar complication and Tiffany's iconic turquoise finish, symbolizing both exclusivity and Arnault's connection to Tiffany and Company. While a standard Patek Philippe 5740 already retails for around $145,000 to $175,000, the unique Tiffany blue version is considered priceless. Collectors estimate its value could easily exceed $1 million if it ever appeared on the market. This is the essence of true luxury, owning a piece so rare and meaningful that it requires no announcement. Arnault's Nautilus reflects his philosophy of refinement, not about excess, but about possessing what no one else can. The Rothschild family, long associated with old-world wealth and refinement, has occasionally been linked to horological history, most notably with a Breguet pocket watch once owned by Nathaniel de Rothschild, a piece valued well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. While some suggest Rothschilds wear only the most classic Vacheron Constantin or Breguet timepieces, both brands with watches typically ranging from $20,000 to $100,000 plus, modern sightings tell a different story. In fact, a Rothschild family member has been photographed wearing a Richard Mille, a contemporary luxury brand where models often start around $150,000 and can easily exceed $350,000 or more. This mix of historical heritage and cutting-edge modern luxury underscores the family's position at the intersection of timeless tradition and avant-garde exclusivity. What separates old money watch choices from nouveau riche selections is subtlety. There's a confidence that comes from not needing to prove anything. Their watches aren't conversation starters, they're conversation enders. Part 4. The Self-Made Billionaires. Perhaps the most interesting category is the self-made billionaire, men who built their fortunes from nothing. Howard Schultz, the man who transformed Starbucks from a single Seattle coffee shop into a global empire, doesn't just sip on coffee. He savors horological history. Far from the standard Rolex submariner, Schultz is an avid collector of vintage Rolex chronographs, including the legendary Paul Newman Daytona reference 6239, valued well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. His collection also features rarities like the Rolex triple date chronograph reference 6236 and the pre-Daytona reference 6238, each a testament to timeless craftsmanship. Schultz's taste in watches mirrors his business vision. Bold, discerning, and always a few steps ahead of the crowd. Ralph Lauren, the designer who built an empire on timeless American elegance, doesn't just wear watches. He curates history on his wrist. While many assume he sports his own Ralph Lauren stirrup line, in reality, he's often seen with vintage Cartier tanks, valued from $10,000 to $40,000, alongside classic Panerai models, which typically range from $7,000 to $15,000. Adding a futuristic twist, Lauren has also been photographed wearing the Urwerk UR210, a highly technical timepiece priced around $150,000. His collection reflects refinement and curiosity. Cartier for enduring elegance, Panerai for rugged sophistication, and Urwerk for bold innovation. Much like his fashion empire, Lauren's watch choices embody a life lived at the intersection of heritage, craftsmanship, and daring imagination. Mark Cuban, the outspoken billionaire investor and Dallas Mavericks owner, is frequently seen with a Panerai Luminor Marina strapped to his wrist. Known for its oversized case, crown guard, and rugged Italian naval heritage, the Panerai perfectly suits Cuban's bold personality and larger-than-life presence on Shark Tank. With prices typically ranging from $5,000 to $10,000, the Luminor Marina embodies understated strength, a practical yet powerful choice for a self-made billionaire. The self-made billionaires teach us that your watch should tell your story. It should reflect not just who you are, but how you got there. Part 5. The Media Moguls. Let's not overlook the billionaires who built their empires through media and entertainment. Men who understand the power of image, yet make surprisingly nuanced watch choices. Rupert Murdoch, the media titan whose empire spans continents and controversies, doesn't reach for the expected Swiss classic. He has been spotted wearing a Philippe Tesla, a watch brand known for its wellness-focused technology and biofeedback claims rather than traditional horology. With models typically priced between $500 and $3,000, it's a surprisingly modest and unconventional choice for a billionaire. Much like Murdoch's disruptive approach to media, his watch reflects a taste for the unexpected. Less about tradition, more about making his own rules. Michael Bloomberg, the media mogul and former mayor of New York City, opts for quiet sophistication with his Breguet Classique. Breguet, one of the oldest and most prestigious watchmakers in the world, is known for its refined dials, fluted cases, and timeless mechanical complications. Bloomberg's preference for this understated masterpiece aligns with his image: elegant, disciplined, and built on tradition. The Breguet Classique typically retails between $20,000 and $40,000, a subtle yet refined choice for one of America's wealthiest self-made men. Then there's Jay-Z, the self-made billionaire who built an empire from music to media. He is as legendary for his watch collection as for his business acumen. Frequently seen with ultra-rare masterpieces like the Patek Philippe Grande Complication 5304R, nearly $1 million, and the Richard Mille RM056 Sapphire Tourbillon, valued at over $2.5 million. His choices speak to exclusivity and innovation at the highest level of horology. From vintage Patek Philippe 2,499's worth $3 million to one-of-a-kind Richard Mille creations spotted at the Super Bowl, Jay-Z's timepieces aren't just accessories, they're symbols of power, rarity, and cultural dominance, cementing him as both a style icon and a connoisseur of the world's most coveted watches. What these media titans demonstrate is a profound understanding that when you're constantly in the public eye, your accessories aren't just personal choices. They're extensions of your brand. Their watches don't compete for attention. They complement the overall image these moguls have carefully crafted over decades. What this means for you now, I'm not suggesting you need to spend a fortune on a watch to look successful. What these billionaires teach us is that the right watch isn't about price. It's about alignment with who you are and what you value. The key is authenticity. A man wearing a watch that doesn't match his personality or lifestyle isn't fooling anyone, especially not himself. Investment value beyond style and status, many of these billionaire-favored watches represent something else: solid investments. Certain models from Rolex, Patek Philippe, and Audemars Piguet have appreciated more consistently than many traditional investments. A Patek Philippe Nautilus, purchased in 2015, has more than tripled in value. A vintage Rolex Daytona can sell for 20 times its original price. But here's the crucial distinction. These watches weren't purchased as investments. They were purchased as tools, as expressions of personal taste. Their investment value was a byproduct, not the purpose. And that's perhaps the most important lesson from billionaire watch collectors. Buy what speaks to you, what serves your needs, what aligns with your values. If it happens to appreciate in value, consider that a bonus. The perfect watch wardrobe. If you're looking to build a collection like the billionaires we've discussed, start with these 3 essential pieces. A classic stainless steel sports watch, something like a Rolex Submariner, Omega Seamaster, or Tudor Black Bay. This is your everyday workhorse. A refined dress watch on a leather strap, perhaps a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso or a Cartier Tank. This is for formal occasions when subtlety matters. A personal signature piece, something that reflects your specific interests or background. This could be anything from a vintage piece connected to your birth year to a watch from a brand that aligns with your passions. With these 3 watches, you'll be prepared for any situation, from the boardroom to the beach. Gentlemen, a billionaire's watch doesn't just tell time. It tells a story. It speaks of values, of priorities, of a relationship with legacy and heritage. The next time you look at your wrist, ask yourself, what story is my watch telling? Is it one of authentic confidence, of genuine taste, of true understanding? Or is it trying too hard to impress people who ultimately don't matter? Because here's the truth. The most powerful men in the world aren't wearing watches to impress others. They're wearing watches that impress themselves. They choose timepieces that align with their values, that serve their purposes, that connect them to traditions larger than themselves. And that's the ultimate luxury, not the freedom to buy any watch, but the confidence to dive into the wrists of the wealthy. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more insights into the subtle signals of success. Until next time, gentlemen, keep time wisely.